Hello, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to a Band of Gamers podcast, episode 197. We're gamers who love music. We're here to help you stay current with gaming and discover fresh new music in one podcast. In this episode, the 197th episode of A Band of Gamers, you can find the show notes, links, and conversation on our website, bandofgamers.com/197. We've got Side A video games and some news. Nintendo's facing a class action lawsuit. Streamers for hire. Some games we've been playing, Ori, Madden 20, The Crew 2 Weekly Summit Challenges, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Can't wait to hear about that one. Between the two sides, we'll tell you what's in our pint glasses. And in Side B music, recommended album this episode is for fans of world music to beat the summer heat, island jams, Afro beats,
Ry Cooter's Buena Vista Social Club.
We'll share our thoughts and yours about that record, grabbing the comments out of the Discord server. End of the show, we return to our roots, playing a song from a great indie band you may have otherwise missed. Remember when we used to do that? I'm Joel, your MC, one of three co-hosts here at ABOG, recording in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the USA. Joining me on this journey from across the globe, first off from beautiful Vancouver, Canada, where he's pumping on your stereo, it's Shane.
Hey, it's summertime. The music's louder, the beers are colder, and the friends are friendlier, we'll say. It's a great time of year, man. Great to be back. Great for another episode, 197 of Band of Gamers podcast.
And in Birmingham, England, flip side of the world, we've got Carl, and he is doggone tired.
Yes, dog sitting for a couple of weeks. And boy, I've raised a child. Raising someone else's dog is, almost as hard. I am knackered.
Ooh.
It's all those walks in the park, cleaning up poop. It's a puppy, though. You're chasing him around, right?
Yeah, puppy, 10 months old. He's a big lad. And yeah, multiple walks per day. You know, you get home from work and it's just like, I just want to kick back. And yeah, you've got to play and entertain and then food and, walkies. Yeah, man, he takes it out of you. I have a newfound respect for all dog owners.
I don't have a dog. I'm not going to have a dog, but a bit of an allergy to the dog animal. But driving to work, for me, it's always hilarious because I always see driving to work, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. You see people, these guys, men, that take full-grown men and they take their dogs out for like that morning walk that they do. And just seeing how miserable these guys are, I crack up every time. There's one guy every morning, he's got like one of those little like 9-pound rats that he's got. And he's always got his phone with him. And just the look of defeatness on his face every single morning is beautiful. But no, dogs are great. They're fantastic. There's some good doggies out there.
I'm one of those guys myself. I walk my dog every morning. But you know what? I love it. Right? It's like therapeutic. Before I get beat down at work, I get beat down outside a little bit. Kind of cheers me up. Lifts my spirits before I head into the actual spirit crusher. Well, let's get started here in video games. Side A video games. Got a follow-up to our Joy-Con discussion from the last episode, where we mentioned that people have been having some issues with their Joy-Cons. A listener to the show, Colum, sent us an email. He said, left Joy-Con issue is real. I've had it since I purchased my Switch on day one. It happened a few months after that. I'm on my second set of Joy-Cons. Like all new consoles, there's always some problems. Just can't be helped. Although I don't remember there being any problems with the SNES or the PS1. But then we didn't have the internet back then. Good point.
Yeah, that's too bad, man. I kind of played down the drift Joy-Con issue on the last episode, but since then, like immediately after, looking into it more, like it's affecting a lot of systems. It makes me a bit nervous. Might have to hold off a little bit on picking up a Switch Lite or a Switch when the time comes, because I'm looking forward to it. I'm super stoked, but if it's that bad of an issue and what people are saying, then I might have to wait a little bit and, see how things go. Doesn't sound like a fun issue at all. And hopefully they can get all this sorted and be back in there making quality products. Because you go back to the systems we had as kids, they were tanks. Your NES could drop off the, top of your house. You're playing Nintendo on the rooftops or whatnot. You got the TV up there, extension cord and whatnot, getting all kinked to you. Man's trying to cut the lawn or something. And, you'd plug it right back in, still work fine. So let's hope they can get this all sorted real quick, and get back to gaming.
At least with his, he can replace the Joy-Cons. But they're not cheap. Here in the States, it's like $79 for a set of those Joy-Cons.
And it's still, it's a bit of a pain. I mean, if it happened to them that early. I mean, controllers, they go after numerous years. I mean, I've replaced my PS3 controllers, numerous times after, 4 or 5 years. It's like, okay, time for a new one. Likewise on the PS4, same thing. Same with my Xbox controller. I had to, replace that. It is part of it, but seems a little different. Seems like a different technology making those sticks that small and still being the quality product that we've come to know and love.
Yeah, I think wear and tear, you don't mind so much, but when it is something that is, fundamental and perhaps wrong in the product design, there's obviously something there that is a problem for them. And you don't really mind replacing it if it's, if it's old, but hopefully, Colin, these are replaced by Nintendo. You haven't had to buy another set.
Well, that's where we kind of head into some more news here. Nintendo's facing a class action lawsuit over this drift issue. That's how the world works nowadays. You get a bunch of people together, you get some attorneys, and hey, class action lawsuit. Let's get some money out of this. Quickly thereafter, Nintendo announced they will now fix Joy-Cons for free, including shipping and handling to and from, and are offering refunds to those folks who have fixed Joy-Cons in the past. Maybe they'll be able to squirm out of that class action lawsuit. And now, at least, they're offering to fix. But with that Switch Lite, as I mentioned last show, you'll be sending in that whole unit to fix that defect, if that's the case. But I guess good on them. I mean, it took the class action lawsuit to really get them motivated.
My boy's got one, I've got one. I've never had any problems personally, and I don't know anyone immediately who has. But if it is such a big issue, then obviously it needs looking at, and they need to look into it. If it's on the scale of the red ring of death thing with Microsoft, I don't think it's quite there. But nipping it in the bud, and immediately when someone's saying, mentions lawsuit, like you say, Joel, just got to think, oh yeah, we need to quell this fire before it goes out of control. So yeah, fair play.
Nothing is on the scale of that Xbox 360 Ring of Death. Man, that was awful. I got affected by that multiple times, and my Joy-Cons still work perfectly fine. The other big news story for these last 2 weeks, Tyler Ninja Blevins signed an exclusive streaming deal with Mixer. Mixer is Microsoft's streaming service, the one they bought and now have on their Xbox dashboard. Got a Forbes article here and some quotes, I think probably in a press release from Mr. Ninja. As I look at the next step in my career, achieving bigger goals in the gaming industry with Mixer will allow me to have the perfect balance of opportunities and success. My roots as a gamer started with Halo, so working with Microsoft and coming over to Mixer felt like a natural next step. Capturing all the great moments in gaming and sharing in the wins and losses with a positive community-focused environment that we can all be proud of. And that's why I'm here. That and the dump truck full of money they probably drove up to his house, right?
Took the words right out of my mouth. That is always my natural next step as well.
Yep. I'm sure they gave him a nice exclusive deal here with Twitch, and Carl probably knows way more than I do. You've got to be there. You've got to grind it every day to get those subs, to get your money. And I'm assuming that with this exclusive deal, they just said, here's a bunch of money. Don't worry about the other crap. Just flat money, flat fee, probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think so. And with something like Twitch, you do start off, you can't earn anything from it, and you get to affiliate, you get to partner. And I'm assuming that he would have been a preferential partner. He would have been at a good rate of the individual cash from each subscription, but Twitch still would have took a massive percentage as well. So him moving across to Mixer does make sense. Microsoft have got the money, and if they can just pay him, like you say, give him just a salary, effectively, give him a ton of money up front, and give him the freedom to stream what he would like, and not really worry about perhaps getting the traffic in and stuff. And it can only benefit Mixer and only benefit Microsoft. So yeah, good idea from them.
And they'll also drop him in, and you'll see him on Xbox commercials and whatnot, and major events. He will be there. He will be, a representative of, the Microsoft brand. That's where they will benefit from him most.
Oh, for sure. You think about their first party stuff, the next thing that they have coming up and coming, and there he is, Ninja, streaming this stuff straight away with an almost captive audience. So great move from them for showcasing their new games.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to help sell some of the next console, grabbing that real young crowd. He's been a Fortnite player for a long time. Now he'll be able to mix it up a little bit more. Pun intended. Play something else. According to Stream Elements, Twitch receives about 3/4 of all the game-related live stream traffic on the web. So they are the dominant streaming service at this moment. Mixer is 4th in that race. They're behind Twitch, obviously. YouTube Live and Facebook Gaming is in 3rd. So Mixer just has about 3% of the traffic for live streams. Let's see this probably bump them up a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
And he mentioned the positive community-focused environment. Mixer does have a reputation with the fact that you have to log in using your Xbox profile. So they can police it a little bit. I guess supposedly there's less trolling than something like Twitch.
You are right, mate. If you ever want to look out and check out Mixer, it's built into the dash and built into your, press a button, you can watch it. You are logged in as your Xbox gamer tag. So you are effectively, when you watch somebody, when you stream on Mixer yourself, you kind of accrue their currency and things like that, just to keep you, invested in the platform. And I guess you would have if you were trolling, you're easily identifiable by a gamer tag. You could be punished effectively. I think there's probably a lot more rigor around that than there would be on Twitch for sure, because there is none.
Let's talk about what we've been playing. And I think the first game on our list here, at least the one I want to hear the most about to start us off, Carl, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for the Switch. Tell us about it.
Wow. I'm a huge fan, obviously, of comic books and Marvel. And the first 2 games in this series were pretty damn awesome. And I remember playing on the PS2, PS3. And I think there was an X-Men game. There were a couple of these Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, with superhero crossovers and teaming up. And it's effectively a dungeon crawler, top-down. Think Diablo. It's very, very similar, apart from all of the loot that you get in Diablo. But you've got, your familiar characters. You've got, all the guys that you want to be playing as. Who doesn't want to play as Iron Man and Captain America and Wolverine? And it's very much a nerd fest. It's one of these games that I played when I was young, and I was just like, oh my god, all these guys together. Everyone loves a crossover, and this game is literally just a crossover. The story itself in this one, the first 2 games were kind of linked into each other. The second game being all about the Civil War, and this game is very much its own thing. It's done by a new studio. Team Ninja picked this up and kind of reinvigorated the dead franchise, really. And it is a Switch exclusive. It's only on the platform. One thing I was worried about with that, I thought, how's the Switch version going to look? In terms of graphics and stuff, is it going to be a poorer cousin? Because it's not on the big boy consoles, but it looks pretty decent. The story for it is based on the Infinity Stones. It's not linked to the MCU. It's very much its own thing. If you're familiar with the movies from the MCU, you will all of a sudden be well invested in this because it's got all the baddies, a lot of the good guys as well. Some of the more recent stuff with the Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that. You are going to be instantly able to get to grips with what's going on in the story, and that's quite cool. It gives a little bit more attention and a bit more depth to some of the characters in the Black Order and Thanos, and fun little story, I think, on this one. In terms of playability, the Switch does handle this game remarkably well. I think it does a really good job in terms of keeping a satisfactory frame rate, and the graphics look pretty good. It doesn't really struggle with anything, I don't think, so far that I've seen. Camera is a bit of a pain, but only really in co-op, when you've both got these little Joy-Cons and you haven't got a second analog stick. But it's not, it's just something that you just get on with and you get to grips with. It's not game breaking. A lot of depth in it. The story's pretty decent size itself, probably 7 to 10 hours. And there are various little side missions and things you can go on, little challenges and rifts you can do. And it's a fairly deep game. You've got the RPG kind of leveling up systems and stuff. You can spend points and level up your guys, spend materials in making their moves more powerful and things like that. So yeah, I've spent probably about 10 hours so far. Probably about chapter 7, I think, in the story. And yeah, I'm digging it. I'm really enjoying it. It's not a bold move, I think, picking this up and running with it on the Switch, but I'm certainly glad somebody did that, and we can enjoy the game as it is. So yeah, I think definitely rent it if you can rent it. Maybe grab it up full price if you are a Marvel guy. I certainly am happy I've got it.
But you already got a Switch. Would you buy a console for this? If you're a PS4, Xbox guy, don't have a Switch yet?
Yes, that's a good question. If the Switch was cheaper, I would be tempted to do it. I think as it is, I would wait for a price drop on the system. Or maybe if you're looking at that Switch Lite, this would be a good game for that. Because in terms of the Joy-Cons, and you don't need all those frills and spills from the rumble and the movement and stuff. It's nice and straightforward. And you can just crack on and play in handheld mode if you want to. And yeah, I think if you're going to hit it at that point on the cheaper model, might be worth grabbing that for this game. If you're a comic book fan,
or you could pair it with that game of the generation, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, right, Carl?
Yeah, it's a better game. It's a better game than Zelda.
Oh my God!
Whoa!
It
You're
is.
to hear folks, kids.
It is. Yeah, well, it's personal preference, isn't it, mate? I am looking forward to the other Zelda game that comes out in September, Link's Awakening. That's looking really good. I'm going to be grabbing that for sure and playing through that. Can't wait.
Shane, looks like you've been playing more of the Crew 2. Man, this game, you just keeping at it, man. Your game of the year last year, it's got more legs, 4-legged dog legs.
Yeah, it's right. It definitely does, man. All the grinding in this RPG, man, it's paid off really, really well. Yeah, getting all these parts. I got a couple buddies who've been playing it with, and I spent months grinding a couple different races just over and over, for nights on end, and got a lot of points out of it. A lot of great parts, so it's making this stuff a little bit easier for me. But they brought back the summit, which was a great addition to the original Crew, and it's a weekly set of challenges. There's 9 events to compete in, and you get rewards for finishing in bronze, silver, gold, and platinum ranks. But the thing is that to get to the platinum, gold, and silver ranks, you have to finish in the top 3,000, 5,000, and 15,000 in the world. So you could start off, do all the events, and you have a great amount of points that you've accumulated. You're in the top 5,000 or whatnot. Check back in a couple days, and you're nowhere near close to it. So there adds a lot of replayability. Go back in there, keep grinding, keep doing better. Level up your parts on your cars, make your cars better, make them perform better. Go back into the summit, start kicking some more ass, and then hopefully when the events finish off, which is usually Tuesday night, 8 Pacific, 10 Central, they finally shut it down, and where you finish there, that places you for your rewards. And one really, really cool thing they do is everybody who participates, if you finish bronze, and I've done it, even if you finish one event, you'll get the bronze reward, which is a healthy amount of followers, or XP, basically. So you level up your rankings quite a bit, and which allows you to have more icon points, more stuff to add to, different perks and whatnot. So there's so much to gain by getting in there and playing. It's just a fantastic way of playing, and every week we're back in it. If you're in a crew with a couple buddies and they don't have all the specific cars that you need to compete in the event, if somebody else in your crew does have them, then everybody can compete in there and you can knock that event off. It's a great thing that they're doing. It just keeps the game going so much further here now that we're in the second year that it's been out. It's fantastic, man. I still love the Crew 2. Probably go down as one of my all-time favorite racing games. Very, very, very good stuff.
Sounds like fun. I like that. So one person in the crew has the car. Everyone can go. I like the sound of that.
It won't be as high as level as your car, but you'll get the base car, so you can at least do the event, at least register, some sort of time or a ranking in there. Once you complete all 9 events, you get a bonus extra 100,000 points. that goes to your rank in the summit, which helps as well. So anything can happen in it. It's really, really cool how they're doing it.
I've got my summer gaming going here, which means I play a little bit here and there, enjoying the beautiful outdoors for the few months I have it available to me. Before I'm snowed in for 6 months. So I've been enjoying Ori and the Blind Forest. This game's been out for quite a while, a couple years old. It's a Metrovania style game, but with beautiful graphics, kind of a nature style fantasy world. A little bit of an emotional game. You play like a cute little character, you're interacting with other animals, and you lose your parent figure kind of early on. You shed a tear or two, and you get your way into the campaign. But very Metrovania style, from the side scrolling, a lot of the movements, the weapons you have, but then also some of the backtracking. As you get different skills and open up different things, you go back and find other bits. But I'm trying to get through this. I really want to play that sequel that's around the corner. I'm seeing the trailers for that, and the Xbox pressers and everything, and that's the Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So figured I might as well play through this one and prep for that one. Having quite a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, got to keep that story going, get all into it.
Yep.
Beautiful game as well. That game is so pretty.
It is, and it's one I can play when the wife's around. I'm married to Snow White. If you didn't know this, she loves animals. So when I'm playing this game, she's like, "Oh, look at the little fox, or look at the owl." And it's one that I can play guilt-free, and she'll watch along, completely captivated. Neat games like that, right?
Playing like the Wolfenstein, was it the new Colossus or whatever it was?
Yeah,
that was a brutal beginning.
It was. Madden 20. Now, I wasn't planning on picking this game up. I was going to skip it, put my foot down, be like, "Yep, nope, not getting burned by a roster update again." And then I'm listening to other podcasts and reading articles, and all these people are saying it plays really smooth. It's the smoothest Madden yet. Like, crap.
Always a good way to suck people in. Oh, it's just really smooth this year. It's just like, all right, you got me. You're all in.
It's that buzzword in it, and it's a word you probably weren't expecting to hear. Like, it's always some razzmatazz, and if someone's just like smooth, oh man, what's it like?
Yeah, you guys are right. It worked. I had to try it, but so what I did is I picked up EA Access for a year, $30 on my Xbox. And I get the 10-hour trial of Madden and then another year of EA Access for whatever the heck else I want to play. So it's kind of dipping my toe in a little bit for half the price of buying the game straight up. And I'm about 3-4 hours in. Packers are 3-0. Feeling pretty good about my team, about myself. It's got a very good presentation. It is smooth. They were right. It's a pretty smooth game of football. It's still a little glitchy. It still has its things. It's not a perfect game of NFL. But it feels good. We'll see if I don't know. Usually I buy Madden and I play it for about 10 hours and then it sits on the shelf all year. Rarely pull it back out. If the Packers do well, that helps. That contributes to more gameplay. If we're like 6-0, I'm like, yeah, I'm pulling Madden out. I'm beating them Vikings again. We'll do it twice this week.
And you're playing like full 60-minute games. You're doing it the week of. You're settling it. Lock the doors. You're fully into it. And yeah,
totally. If the Packers stink, that game stays on the shelf. Like, I don't want to play no football. Ugh. So far, so good. We'll see if I get past the 10-hour mark and throw down some money on the actual version.
I say it every year, but I'm on the fence this year with the new NHL. It's just they got to get Frostbite in there quick, man. It's still just stale. I mean, they keep making minuscule game improvements and whatnot and overhyping it, and it's like, is this year I don't buy it day one and wait for a sale? I hope so, but as soon as we get to that launch week, it's and then you got somebody's like, hey, it's really smooth this year. Fuck. All right, let's do it. But yeah, hopefully I can have the willpower this year and wait for a sale at least, because it looks like more of a roster update. So,
but one game I'll be getting for sure is the new FIFA, because Villa will now be in the Premier League, so I've got to be getting that this year.
Yes,
we are doing, and I've dragged both Shane and Carl into this. I think I've twisted some arms, right? A couple times, publicly even, to get you guys to play. but we're doing a fantasy football league, ABOG fantasy football league. We got 10 spots now that are filled up, looking for 2 more people. So if you're interested, we're going to keep it real chill, very easy, kind of an auto draft. All you got to do is fire it up once a week, set your lineup, and then maybe on Sunday, Monday, check your score, have a little fun with it. And if you want to join up with that, you can do that on our Discord, banditgamers.com/Discord. We got a sports thread in there. Just give a shout in there, say you're interested. We'll get you in, or you can send me an email, joel@banditgamers.com.
Yeah, great group of participants that are involved with it. So a bit of a no-brainer. Get in, be a lot of fun. You know, sure there'll be a little bit chirping going week to week. It's but being casual and focus being on fun and having a good time with everyone's going to be the best.
For sure. And I also do not know what I'm doing. So yeah, get in there.
Yeah, that'd be fun I've been playing fantasy for football for 15 years. But I did another league like this with a different podcast last couple years. I did like an auto draft thing. Nobody knew what they were doing. Everyone's chill. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to kick the crap out of you people. And I lose. There's the guy that won the last 2 years, I think, never made a free agent move, never changed his lineup, and he just rolls right through the thing. So don't quite get that. But what I learned is doing an auto draft, keeping it kind of chill. I think everybody is. Even if you don't know much, Carl, you'll probably be able to figure it out and have a little bit of fun with it. So 2 spots left. First come, first served, if you're interested. Love to fill that league up. Besides that, I went back to an old classic from 2 years ago. Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I needed to play it again, so I'm going on my second playthrough. I figured I'd grab the DLC. It's a comfy blanket late at night when I'm kind of chilling out. It's just one of those games I just cannot get enough of. I feel bad, like I should be playing something else, talk about something else, but oh man, forget all that. I just like pretend I don't have a podcast for a minute. I want to play more Zelda, so I'm like, all right, play more Zelda. I'm doing it.
Don't feel bad, mate. Don't you enjoy that game? You play.
That's right. So I started a thread over on our Facebook group and asked folks what games they keep coming back to over and over again. Maybe make myself feel a little bit better about this whole Zelda addiction. I got quite a few comments there. Adam Lucas said, Time Splitters, Future Perfect. One he keeps going back to. That's a classic, man. I haven't played that in forever. PJ Church, SteamWorld Dig, and Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Kevin Stolmeyer says GTA Vice City and Kid Icarus.
Oh, 2 classics. Kid Icarus, so good.
See that news story about the guy that found the sealed copy in his attic this past week?
No way.
Whoa. Hey.
Yeah, that made the news over here. I think he's getting like $1,000 for it or something.
Oh, probably. Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to read into that. That's awesome.
Michael Mann with Skyrim. I knew he'd say that. Always playing Skyrim. Hannah Lee with Sleeping Dogs.
A great United Front Games, former Vancouver studio, local Pacific Northwest title. Great game.
Underrated.
My wife, Shay, Don't Starve. Not a surprise. She says, I haven't beat it, but I'm not sure there's an option or that's even possible, but I made it to day 400-ish. Actually really impressive. John Cole, the Diablo 3 and the Uncharted series. Glenn Roger Anderson, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I know he's been on a big Mega SG kick lately. Chris Volak, Sonic CD, another Sonic game there.
Classic Sonic title.
Our buddy Tim Paulin, Last of Us. Currently halfway through my 5th playthrough. Wow.
Whoa, dude. And I still haven't played that game, really. Shame on me.
Well, you might as well read yours. Yours is next.
Well, the reason why I haven't is because I'm too busy playing the games that I'd like to go back to and play, which is The Witcher 3, Persona 5, and Diablo 3. Something about those sequels.
Got Billy Jack Dominguez said, Journey. You beat it once. You've seen all there is, but since the release on the PS3, I've beaten this game over and over. Like 20 times. Closer to 50, he said.
Wow.
Also GTA Vice City. The Witcher 3. Another vote for The Witcher 3. Dark Souls Trilogy. Best series ever. Best 3DS games ever. Or best 3D games, pardon me. Thousands of hours, and I still see things I never saw before. Stefan Wren, Witcher 3. One of these days I'll get the platinum. Carl, do you platinum that game? I forget.
I did not. You've got to finish it on Death Marsh difficulty, and it's pretty tough, man. So I have not. But I did buy it on PC the other day, so maybe I'll... Yeah, I think I own it on every platform, and it is coming to the Switch, so you never know.
It's Witcher 3 on handheld mode. Probably never talk to Carl again.
Yeah, probably.
David Sodi says, so far none. If I beat them, I am done. Kind of my hero right there.
Go on, Dave. That's only because his backlog is absolutely massive.
Well, at least he's sticking to it, right? I keep going back to the same games, that and Pixel Junk, right? Just over and over. Adrian Harkis, with time being a premium nowadays, most of mine are old, so I would say Metal Slug 3, Dragon Age Origins, and a couple of the Resident Evils. And last, certainly not least, Brian Otaki, Borderlands 2, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2, and The Crew 2, which I think would make Shane's list, I would imagine.
Definitely superb titles. I mean, Borderlands 2. I don't think it's even possible. They could probably check like all the accounts and see of all the people that have finished it. There won't be one that hasn't gone back and played it even more after. I mean, that's just the poster child game for this conversation. Definitely is, and Monster Hunter World, just great titles from everyone putting in there. Witcher 3, Diablo 3, all that stuff, fantastic.
Oh hell yeah! And Borderlands 2, 1 month, gentlemen, 1 month until Borderlands 3.
1 month, man, that's coming up quick.
Oh yeah, I hope we're excited.
Yeah,
It's time to get the band back together.
Speaking my language, son.
Yeah.
Now that my Borderlands 2 save file for my main character got corrupted, yeah, I'm pretty much done playing Borderlands 2. So
Whoa.
bring on 3, fantastic, perfect timing. Let's do this.
And that sucks. All right, let's share what we're drinking before we get over to Side B Music. We got a great album over there. Stick around. Some good music there at the end too. Great song to play it out. I'll go first. I've got this very purple, red-looking beer. It's from 1840. My favorite place. It's a naturally soured oat cream ale with super fruits and lactose added. I think they wrote on the bottle somewhere else in there. It's basically an adult smoothie. Like one of these sour, fruity beers. Kind of becoming real popular over here. It's called Plumpy. And bottled 731, so 6%. It's got the super fruits as far as blueberry, pomegranate, which I think blueberry and pomegranate probably are the two culprits for the color, and a little bit of raspberry. It's pretty damn good. They brewed this once before. They're doing it again. It's a great summer beer. A little lighter, but still kind of tropical, fruity. And I was happy to grab a couple more bottles of these and take a big gulp. Yeah, it's pretty sour, but damn good.
Got a proper tartness, sourness to it. A lot of sour beers are just sour. It seems like it's sour for the sake of making a sour. Whereas you get something like this Plumpy, and I've had a few that were done out here, where you get a little bit of that lactose in there to take a little bit of the edge off. You can make an excellent sour. Can be tough to beat if they're done right. It can be a little underrated, but they've been really, really popular out here for the past couple of years. And like everybody was doing a sour and whatnot. Most of them tasted like crap. They weren't very good, but you get that right one. You get that triple berry, that smoothie with a little bit of lactose in there. They can be absolutely incredible. And that definitely looks like one. You got all the color in there. Looks delicious. And watching your reaction, in a couple of sips there, it looks as delicious looking beer you got there, pal.
Yeah, you're right. The lactose does kind of take the edge off a little bit. Drives it through. What do you got there, Shane?
I went with an old favorite of mine. Drank a lot of Guinness in my life. But when I started drinking beers when I was a wee nard, you go to like house parties and whatnot, everybody bring cases of, cheap beer and whatnot. And I always had like, Heineken or Estella or whatnot. And then I came across Newcastle Brown Ale. And when I first had it, I was about legal drinking age, 19. It was amazing. Blew me away. Is a dynamite brown ale. I always like trying different brown ales because of Newcastle Brown. I don't get it all the time. I get it, maybe a couple times a year. I'll get like a little 6-pack and just enjoy it, chill out. But I mean, if anybody hasn't had a Newcastle Brown, you definitely got to try it out. I envy some of you in the United States for a couple of reasons. One of them is because you get the tall can Newcastle Browns down there, which I've always wanted to try. We just get the bottles up here, but it's a fantastic brown ale. One of my all-time favorite beers. Delicious stuff.
That is a great beer. One of my favourites as well, mate. Shock horror, but you put them in the fridge, you get them ice cold.
Yeah.
God damn, man, it's a refreshing beer, and even for a dark beer, it's tough to top sometimes, but yeah, way man, nice one.
Aye.
I'm going the other way though. From my amigo Shane, I am drinking a hazy New England IPA. We seem to be getting an influx of them in the store over here now. I think we're a little bit behind the curve from the rest of the world, particularly the US. And this is from the London Beer Company, and you can grab it at Tesco. About £3 a can, so it's on the pricey side for beer. But it's called Dance Juice, and literally that's all it was called. And I was like, I walked past it, I was like, I've got to get that because a few of them. And it makes you want to have a dance. It's got a cute little can with dancing ladies and lords on it, and I thought, 7.5%. So a few of these and you will be dancing. It's all tropical fruits. It's very thick and fruity and sweet, with just a little tinge of bitterness at the end. But yeah, very good beer. And if you're looking for something very sessionable, at 7.5%, it really doesn't taste anything like it. It's thick and orangey yellow, delicious. Super, super good. I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. Not a brewery I'm familiar with, but I'm switched on to them now.
Looks pretty good. Got a nice color to it there. Got quite the spectrum between the red purple here to the dark brown that Shane's got, and then the dank looking hazy over there for Carl. We're raising our glasses. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Whew.
You can slam the Newcastle. It's a little bit easier than this.
Yeah. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's do it, boys. No, we're not doing that on this show. Save that for the footies.
Save it for episode 200.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Side B, music.
The recommended album this episode, my choice, George Ben, Africa, Brazil. I found this record, discovered it through Vinyl Me Please. It's a record club over here. They do monthly releases. Get a record, really high quality, very well produced, excellent sounding records typically. They've got a couple different tracks. They do their essentials, which is like the main track. They've been doing that for years. They also have their classics, and they got a hip hop. This is in their essentials. It's in their main track. You would think it'd be more in their classics because it is an older gem. It's from 1976. 11 songs, 40 minutes. Kind of quick in and out on this one. It's in a different language. Definitely categorized as world music. You're not going to, unless you speak, I think, Portuguese, you're not going to know any of the lyrics in these tunes. But George Ben is a famous musician. Back then, he was doing a different style of music. On this record was the first time he picked up an electric guitar on any of his albums.
Whoa.
And he really, apparently, from what I'm reading here, upset a few of his fans who were kind of into his stuff and were like, whoa, wait a second, man, what are you doing? And he combined a couple different elements in here. It's kind of a combination of Afro-Brazilian with like African-American pop. What you really end up with, because when you jam those two styles together, what he ended up with on this record, a very funky electric guitar, but still with that African Brazilian kind of sound where he's got the timbales, he's got the hand drums, almost kind of islandy sounding music, even though he's not from that part of the world, like Caribbean or whatever, but you get the the bouncy keys. You get very loose strumming, fast strumming guitar, almost disco sounding guitar on a couple tracks. Nice clean guitars. I think it's a great summer record. Really good this time of year when you're battling the heat. It's a great album to kind of throw on. Enjoy a beer outside. I was thoroughly enjoying the record. I figured I'd recommend it. We haven't really done anything like this before. It's kind of a little different as far as records just in general. It's pretty damn good. Our community, let me share their thoughts before we get over to Shane and Carl. They gave it a 4.25, 4.25 out of 5. Kafad said, the music reminds me of watching surf videos with clear turquoise water. There's some instrument that sounds like a Muppet honking a horn that got a little annoying, but other than that minor issue, I love this. I hardly ever listen to music that doesn't have English lyrics, mostly because I'm not exposed to them that much, but I would absolutely place this as one of my favorites of the year. Great pick and easy 5 stars, or 5 beers. Brad, honestly, I only listened to about half so far. I gave it 3 stars. Well done, Brad. Garden Girl 5. The album is pretty solid. It's warm summer vibes with a good drink in hand. The instrumentation is amazing. The layers within songs and the depth is really solid. Listening to it only once isn't good enough because of the layers. Its nuances are so good, you hear something different upon multiple listens. Just gave it 5 beers. I think that's well said, too. Tim Paulin, loved the instrumentation. Would be a perfect tiki bar tunes. He gave it 4 IPAs, 4 beers. Well, now we'll get on to what Shane and Carl think of this record. I don't know. We haven't talked about it. I'm very curious to find out. It is a little different. I don't think you guys have a lot of world music records in your collection. Is that fair to say?
Probably. I got 1. That's about it. So
all right.
Oh man, I love what Carfod just said about the Muppet honking the horn. There's definitely I think it's track 3.
Yeah.
Oh, Philosopho, or whatever it's called, and it's got that little do 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 do. There's that little high bit with it. There's like that almost like a child's horn. It works, like it completely works. But yeah, I totally get where he's coming from with that. Yeah, nice change in tempo for a little bit of world music, and I've enjoyed this one. Spinning it a bit. The weather's been nice and sunny. It's definitely been an album I can chuck on and I'm bowling down the street. I love the bass lines in the record. I think the bass is really cool. Shane's got his eyes raised there. That track 10, the name that I've struggled to say, it's Cavaliero de Cavallo y Macoldo or something like that.
Nailed it.
Let's just say I did. And the way the bass just drives into that tune, I was like, oh yeah. There's one or two tracks on here that just get me going, man. Just get the blood pumping. And some of the instrumentation, the percussion in particular, reminds me of that first Santana record, which was pretty much all, and again, all very tribal percussion. Not Brazilian. I think it was more Philippines and stuff. But there's similarities. I was listening to this and I was thinking, it definitely takes me back to that place. And yeah, just a really relaxed, really fun summer's day, good album. Yeah, I enjoyed this one.
It's got some great, kind of bluesy grooves that they get into. The first 3 tunes, one after another, just get all these great grooves. I'm not huge on a lot of melodies in other languages because, with melodies and syllables go hand in hand to create a great melody. So I miss out on appreciating some of that. So I've mainly focused in on the grooves and the instrumentation, and it's fantastic. Dare I say it's brilliant. There's great stuff in here. It's great. Hot afternoon, grab a couple lighter drinks, a couple people over, put it in the background. Fantastic stuff. At some point, somebody's going to be talking about it. It's a great conversation starter. It's a fantastic record. The influences of it, you can hear. There's the Taj Mahal tune that Rod Stewart ripped off, which was a pleasant surprise to actually hear when that melody comes in. It's like, holy crap! And then I went and read up on it, and yeah, sure as shit, yeah, even he pinched it. So yeah, it's a great great listen. You agree with Gardening Girl? Give it a few listens. Give it a chance. There's definitely something in here that you'll like about it. But it's a solid release. That first half, first 5-6 tunes, really, really solid. Kind of mellows out a little bit there, I think, on the tune after the Taj Mahal. I think it's hard to distinguish a lot of the songs when you can't really pronounce the name of them, so they kind of get lost.
Yeah.
But it's a great groove from start to finish. I was working on the bathroom yesterday. I had it, had the Bluetooth speaker set up and just went to work, and before you know it was done. It's just put it back on again, and yeah, man, it's a good choice, Joel. Good choice. I think it was a good time of year to put this one in there, and very much enjoyed this one. Excellent stuff. Definitely a 4 beer, maybe a 4.2. It's in there. It's right in the pocket. Quality listen. I think we did a couple albums prior that were, had a different language and whatnot. And this one definitely stands out. Of all the stuff of this kind of genre that we've kind of touched on, this has been my favorite so far.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, dude. And I'm with you, mate. I'm, songs in a different language and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's hard to differentiate. But that Taj Mahal track, I had that as the Rod Stewart tune, and the track after number 7, I had that as the Santana tune. I was like, oh yeah, Zika de Silva, that's the one. It's very much like it's got that, yeah. It's got that kind of just that little backing vocal, and like I was like, yeah, that takes me back. That does. But yeah, I agree with Shane, man. But yeah, this is one of my favorite world music albums that you've shared, dude. Yeah, very good.
Great grooves. If you like a great groove, give this is definitely worth your time.
If you want to check it out, we've got a Spotify playlist with the album at the top and a few other albums we'll talk about here in a minute. Find that on our website. For the post for this episode, abandonedgamers.com/197. You want to give it a listen or just look it up. It's probably on YouTube, and I'm sure you can find it on all your favorite music places, or just buy it.
Yes. Buy it.
Saw a couple gigs. I'll share these really quick, and then we'll talk about maybe some potential recommendations for next episode. I went last Sunday, a week ago from today when we're recording. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. show. A little bit of a brunch gig, I think they called it, at X-Ray Arcade here it's in Cudahy, not too far from Milwaukee. I saw Seth Anderson from Canada Proud and Pride, and Walt Hamburger, the two of them, and another guy from the Penske File who I missed because I didn't get there till 2 o'clock. I arrived when Seth was playing. Hopefully saw most of his set. And it was kind of a small crowd. Very intimate show, let's say. For a Sunday at 1 o'clock, there's a lot of stuff going on in Wisconsin, Milwaukee area right now, like State Fair. And there's a lot of competition, I guess, for people's times on 1 o'clock on a Sunday. But it was great. It was a treat to get out there. And because it was so small, I was able to kind of chat with Seth a little bit and talk to Walt Hamburger. And great guys, the both of them. Really easy to talk to. Good shows.
Two absolute beauties, both of them. Walt, I mean, that guy's just a Tonka teddy bear, man. He's something else, man. And Seth Anderson, I mean, the pride of Canmore, Alberta. He's hard to find a better dude than those two. And put them together. I hope they tour a little bit more. They look like they seem like they're, definitely they could be brothers at some point. Just great energy off both of those guys, and that's a treat to see them both in the show. Hopefully they do a few more mini tours like they did that you got to see, Joel.
Yeah, they fit really well together. Both having the 1 week record sound, doing the acoustic thing. Walt, first time seeing Walt, well, both of them actually, but Walt had a very good. He handles the crowd really well. Guy's a good stage presence, good talker up there. And because it was kind of a small show, he made light of it. He was kind of joking around about it a little bit. The Brewer game was on at like over the bar. We were kind of all right around the bar where they were performing. And the Brewers are starting to get shelled by the Cubs. He was cracking jokes during about how he's bad luck for the Brewers. And he'd stop in the middle of a song. He'd kind of chuck in a lyric about something happening in the ball game. It was very entertaining.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty good time. Picked up both their records. I already owned both of them, but it was nice to buy them. Just give them some cash, get them signed, and autographed. And then the Walt Hamburger, I think the one I had or have is like a white. And live, he had like a blue, clear blue variant that he only kind of carries on him. So I got 2 different versions of that record. Not too shabby.
There you go, buddy.
And he's like, I told him after the show, I'm like, it's the first time I seen you. That was a great, you're really good live. And I just appreciate all you do for local animal charities. I think you're a champ, man. My wife and I really think you're awesome. Just want to thank you for all that you do for local animal charities. He's like, you've seen me before. I'm like, no, I haven't. This is the first time. He's like, I've signed a record for you before. I'm like, you signed that record in Vancouver. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So he remembered talking to you, Shane. Pretty cool.
Wow. How cool is that? Oh, he's such a, oh man. You don't find too many better, man. I could say it, 1,000 times and never get old, man. Just great dudes.
Yeah, for sure. Very good musicians too. This sounded great live. Check out their records. The Seth Anderson record from 2011 is on Spotify. So I chucked that in our Spotify playlist for this episode. He did tell me that he thinks the 1 week records will be in there soon. Be able to share those finally in Spotify. And he has got a new album around the corner. Hopefully later this year. So be excited for that.
Excellent. I love his 1 week record. One of my favorites is he's got a great voice, great tunes, man. Great Canadian kid.
The other show I saw the other day, just this past weekend on Friday night, Joyce Manor and Saves the Day played Turner Hall here, one of my favorite venues. Been wanting to see Joyce Manor for a couple years now. They never come to Milwaukee. They're always in Madison, which is more of a liberal college town. Gets a lot of the small indie bands. Great to see him here. Drug my wife around with me, along with me. She's like, yeah, nothing I would seek out, but if you want to go, I'll come. I'm like, all right, good, come along. And I think she had a good time. Seemed to enjoy it. I know I had an excellent time. Really enjoyed Joyce Manor. My buddy who books for the venue was making fun of me. Called me a 19-year-old girl for being a fan of Joyce Manor, which didn't quite understand. Looking around the show, I'm like, I don't see a lot of 19-year-old girls here, dude.
Well, they would have left after Saves the Day.
This is probably true. But
I'll get the same for Creeper, mate. Don't worry.
Joyce Manor was great. Awesome time. And the most hugs I've ever seen given in a mosh pit. Never seen anything like that before. Very friendly mosh pit. Anytime anybody would like collide like you do in a mosh pit, they'd like look at each other and hug. I saw it a dozen times. It was strange.
Sure you didn't see him in Canada? Or okay.
Took my wife up to the front and she's like, I don't really want to be in the mosh pit. I'm like, I think it's going to be a pretty chill mosh pit. And we were kind of standing on the edge so we could get as close to the stage as we could. Yeah. Anytime anybody got bumped, it was like a giant hug. Very friendly.
That's good, man. Good vibes. Everybody's there. They have some sort of, attachment to the group. That's awesome, man.
And they're great live. They've really been. So listening to their records a lot this past week, kind of prepping for the show. And then way home, a good gig if on the way home you want to hear the record again. I put it on. My wife's like, oh, come on, really? We just saw the show. I'm like, oh, got to hear it again. So she overruled me on that night. But the next morning, pulled out the album, was like, yep, got to do it. Got to hear it again. That's it for me. I know you guys got a couple albums or an album you maybe want to recommend. So what are you listening to and what are you going to throw out there for next time?
Bit of a random stuff from me. I think I've been listening to a few albums in particular. I'm off to Bloodstock this Friday. So it's like a mini download. It's, a little heavy metal festival. Runs for 3 or 4 days. And we're just going for a day just to check it out, have a little look. But we're going for Power Metal Day. And not sure if these bands ring a bell with you, Per. Sabaton, which is very much, it's like learning history through power metal, which is very fun. Silliness, but really fun. Band don't take themselves seriously. So they've released an album this year called The Great War, which is all about World War I. And songs like The Red Baron, where they talk about obviously the history surrounding the man himself. And yeah, fun, just fun. And Powerwolf are on before them. More of the same, but about werewolves. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been listening to. Just a load of the metal on the lighter scale, the lighter side of it. And there's an album that I have been listening to I will recommend it in a couple of weeks. I just need more time with it because I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm being selfish about it. But yeah, that's probably all I've been doing.
Keeping it to yourself?
Just for now.
All right.
Special. It's mine at the minute.
Okay. Makes just for when you actually want to share. Shane, what do you...
Building up the hype. Building it up.
So you got no recommendations for this next episode?
I wouldn't say so. I think there's one that me and Shane would both like to put as a recommendation, I reckon.
Oh.
You on the last episode, Joel, you made a slight comment about Britpop. You weren't into it back in the 90s like Carl and I were, but there's been a lot of great Britpop albums. A lot of them from some heavy hitters that everybody at one point had in their collection, but there's a lot that got overlooked because of that, and there's a lot of depth to Britpop. And I've thought over the past couple of years, there's definitely like some albums that like Modern Life is a rubbish that I'd love to get Joel's take on and whatnot. But over the past couple of weeks, I kind of thinking it more, and I bounced off Carl and whatnot. We thought just every few months or whatever, every quarter or whatever, just throw a Britpop album in there that not necessarily haven't heard in some time, didn't listen to, but it was a great album that got overlooked. And also thought this would be a great kind of introduction for you, Joel, to listen to some great Britpop that just didn't get heard nearly as much as some of the heavy hitters. So we thought we'd recommend a classic Britpop album, as we've gone back a little bit today. This episode, I should say, went back to 76. We did the Gang of Four, going back to the different peaks. So yeah, we came up with an album to recommend. It's been a while since I've dug into it. Carl, I'm sure likewise. So yeah, what do you think, man? You in? You want to do this every once in a while? Just throw something in there.
You're asking me?
Yeah, man. You cool?
How do I say no?
Does he say no? We don't know, because you can't say no. So we thought a great start, a great little rockin' record from 1995, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I like the 90s.
Supergrass's I Should Coco.
Never heard of it.
Any bells?
Nope.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, an absolute standout belter from the 90s. Superb record. So yeah, I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, something a little bit different. You've recommended some stuff that's definitely out of my wheelhouse, and maybe Carl wasn't quite as familiar. So yeah, just kind of something different, because there is so many great records that didn't get nearly the recognition that they do back home. The fuck am I talking about?
Back home,
right? That doesn't make no sense. But yeah,
I'm super excited to see what the community thinks as well, because there are a few of these gems sprinkled around from the 90s in particular in the UK, and everyone knows of Blur and Oasis and stuff like that. But there's so many others that did go under the radar, which was such great records, and they were well reviewed, well received, but never hit the heights. So I'm super excited to see what my friends on the other side of the pond might make of these.
Can't wait to hear it. I like it. Good idea.
Yeah.
Well, before we play a great song to end out the episode here, we've got a really good one for you. I mean, a really, really good one for you. And you can, after you hear this song, you can go check out Brad's review on our website, over on our blog. He reviews this record where you're about to hear a tune off of. Recommends another album over there as well. Be sure and check that out. Little house cleaning though before we go. We immensely appreciate you taking some time to join us for 60 minutes. But let's keep this conversation going. You can send us an email, feedback@abandongamers.com. Leave a comment in the show post for the episode. On our website, you can join our Discord server. It's abandongamers.com/Discord. We got a Facebook group. And just follow us on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram @abandongamers. Be great to hear from you. But this band contacted Shane via our ABOG Instagram account.
Yeah, we've had, occasionally you get a bunch of bands that'll, shoot their stuff out and whatnot. And, some great bands, writing some tunes and whatnot. And these guys really really stood out. And I had to pass this on to my cohorts here, and we started talking. It's like, it was great, when we played a song and whatnot, and it really helped. And I know bands appreciated it. It definitely just helps familiarize. And, there could be, a handful of people that go and pick out the album. It all helps. I mean, a lot of these bands. And these guys really, when I started listening to the album, it was fantastic. They're called TV Party. They're out of California, Ventura, California, actually. And they just released their debut full-length record. It's a self-titled album. You can pick up the vinyl. They got pressings. They got a gorgeous yellow pressing as well. You can also get them on Bandcamp as well. The links and all that jazz will be in the notes as per usual to check it out. So we've decided we're definitely going to play a tune for you on some throwback ABOG here. But it's not about us. It's about TV Party. Great little band. It definitely got some great influences here. Their singer, I mean, I love his voice. I think he's got a really, really great voice. Definitely has, a bit of that, bit of Morrissey in there, I'll say. Bit of Bauhaus, definitely has that, like that post-punk, a little bit of Gang of Four in there. I hear little Misfits at times in the melodies. Lots and lots of influences in there. So hope you enjoy it. And if you do, give them a shout. Pick up the album. Tell them you love them. Great little band, TV Party, Ventura, California. Here's a song called Strange Noises.
That yellow vinyl. I'm really digging this record. Too. Yeah.
After I bought it on Bandcamp.
Oh.
I threw in a few bucks. I listened. I'm like, holy fuck, this is good. And then I saw in the feed, it came out with that yellow vinyl. I'm like, man says, fuck it. He's buying it twice.
Buy it twice, mate. That's what you got to do.